guys, welcome back to Digits. Today I'll be discussing surface area and how to find surface area on a 3D object. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully this video will work today. There you go.
Surface area of a cube. Lashma. Harold the hobo would like to cover his new box while he sleeps at night, so no one sees it and tries to steal it. Harold's not the smartest knight in the drawer, but Manny sure wishes he had a drawer. Assuming Harold knows the volume of the cube is 1,728 milliliters, how much material will he need to make a perfect fitting box cozy? We can use the cube's volume to help Harold figure out its surface area, and here are our choices. Well, first let's break down that box. We can start by working backwards. We know that the volume of our cube is 1,728. Volume is length times width times height. Lucky for us, all are the same length in a cube. Well, to find volume, we can raise length, width, or height to the third power, or cube it. So we simply need to take the cube root of the volume. The cube root of 1,728 is 12. That's 12 to 12 to 12. There's our length, width, and height. Now let's find the surface area of one side. Well, multiply the box's width by the height, right? So that's 12 times 12, it's 144. How many sides are there again? Yes, 6 of them. So 144 times 6 is 864. Get Joyce E, you're the winner. Now Harold has enough material to hide his home. Sleep tight, Harold. Don't let the literal bed bugs bite.
Okay, so that sort of gives us an idea of what we're talking about today. And if that was a little confusing, it's okay because we just started. So how do you find the surface area of a cube? Copy the steps into your notebook. Well, first you want to draw your cube. As you can see here, this little cube is 4 1/2 inches long on one of the corners, edges, excuse me. So the one thing that we need to know is the three-dimensional figure is a cube. Ta-da! There it is. The cube has an edge length of 4 1/2 inches. Yes, we know that as well. The cube has 6 faces and are squares of equal size. And we know this, guys, because we've talked about cubes for a couple of years now. So what we need is you need to find the surface area of this cube. And what our plan is going to be is to draw and label a net for the cube so we can find the area of each face of the net. Then add all the areas together. So pause the video and copy this down and then push play when you think you've got it. Alright, so here's the step 1. Draw and label each of the nets. And I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of steps today. So just like you've seen the net in my room, you can make it look kind of like a sideways cross, or you can make it look a little wonky. You can put the back face down over the top face. As long as the front face and the back face are on opposite sides of the left, bottom, right, and top face line. Each face of the square cube is, well, square. So now step 2, find the area of each side. Well, on the previous slide, we knew that one side was 4 1/2 inches long. And we know the formula for a square is area equals side squared. So what we need to do is turn 4 1/2 into an improper fraction, which gives us 9/2, because we take our whole number, we multiply it times our denominator, and add our numerator to that. So now we have 9/2 squared. Well, we know when we have the square root, it tells us that we're going to be multiplying the same number more than one time, or twice. So 9/2 times 9/2 gives us 81/4. Step 3, add all the areas of the faces together. So, as you can see, there are 6 faces. In case you're not sure what we're talking about, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 spaces. So we're going to do 81 over 4 plus 81 over 4 multiplying, or adding it together 6 times, or you can just do 81 over 4 times 6, which gives us 486 over 4. Now what you do is you turn it back into a next number. 4 goes into 486, 121 times with a half left over.
Oops, that popped up. Okay.
So, guys, whenever you're copying down notes, the whole point of copying it down is to have the steps laid out for you. So when you see a similar problem and you're not sure what to do, there's the bell, and you're not sure what to do, you can go back to your notes and walk yourself through it instead of having to sit there with your hand raised forever and ever and ever trying to get a teacher to come to you and I'm usually helping somebody else. Okay, this helps save you time, and it also helps you figure out and practice how to do it by yourself. So there's that. So answer this question in your notebook. I want you to draw a line to separate what you just did, and let's work on this one together. Use a net to find the surface area of a cube with edges length 2 3/4 an inch. So, again, we have our steps that we talked about on the previous slide. If you're not sure what they were, go back to the previous slide and walk yourself through it with our new side length. When you think you figured it out, I want you to push play and see if you got the correct answer. Alright, so again, we talked about step 1, and it was to draw a net of our cube. A cube is all equilateral square units. Just pretend this is equal. Pull this down a little bit. We have our top, and we have our bottom. Those are all squares, just pretend, okay? So, we're going to label it, just in case, 2 3/4. We have our top, left, right, bottom, and our 2 sides. Okay, so we know that the formula to find the area, we're finding surface area, the formula for the area of a cube is going to be area equals side squared. We know that our side length is 2 3/4, so now we have area equals 2 3/4 squared. Now we have to turn the 2 3/4 into an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is going to be 11/4 squared. Now we just do 11/4 times 11/4, which gives us 121 16ths. Now remember, we're not done yet. We only have one of the squares done. That's the formula to find one of these squares. But we don't have one, we have 6. So we need to multiply our answer times 6. Okay? So now we're going to multiply 6 times 121, which gives us 6, 12, 726 over 16. Now we turn that back into a mixed number. 16 goes into 726. I saw this all over. No, I can't. Dang it. Well, here's your answer. So if you could figure it out, you should have gotten 45 3/8. You would have started out with 45 6/16, but 6 and 16 can be reduced to 3/8. Okay? Again, guys, the most important thing is to write down each step and follow each step the best you can. Find the surface area of the rectangular prism. Okay, so this is where it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. But again, you're going to draw your net first. You're going to draw your net first, And then this is what it should look like. Now, if you look at each of your bases and faces and whatever, you'll see that you have 3 different size rectangles here. Okay, so your front and back face are about the same size. Your top and bottom faces are about the same size. And then your right face and left face are the same size. So step 2 is to find the area of each of your faces. Since you have 3 different faces, but you have 2 of each, you're going to find the area of each of those 3 faces and multiply your answer times 2. So the front and back faces was 3 feet by 6 feet. And if you want to go back, let's see. If we went back, we can see 3 and 6. And then the bottom was 3 by 12 because the right face and the left face are the same size. And then the top and bottom face are 6 feet, which is right here. It's the same size as the bottom face, by 12 feet. Alright, so you have your measurements that we saw. Okay, you know that the formula is area equals base times height. So you're going to take your base and your height and multiply them together. That's step 2. Step 3 is to add the areas of the faces together. So the surface area is area of the front plus the area of the back. Just 18 plus 18. Plus the area of the left and right side, plus 36 plus 36. And the area of the top and bottom, 72 and 72. So your whole surface area should be 252. Alright, now guys, this can kind of look like it's overwhelming, but again, you are just doing the same exact steps over and over again. Alright, you can do this. You just have to think a little bit deep and be okay with making a mistake the first time. Alright, so here's our example. The mailing package has the shape of a rectangular triangular prism. Find how many square inches of cardboard it takes to make the mailing package. Round your inch to the nearest inch. So think about the steps we talked about. 1, think about what the shape looks like. We talked about how your base is going to determine what your shape looks like. We know it's going to be a triangular prism. Step 2 is draw the net. 3, label the dimensions, etc., etc. Step 1, let's draw the net. You're going to have 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. Y'all see how that looks when you fold it out? I hope so. Okay? And you can see that your left, bottom, and right faces all are the same size rectangle. They're all 6 inches by 25 inches. Alright? And you can see the same thing with the triangles. They're 6 by 5.2. Let's keep moving. Find the area of each face of a triangular prism. So, you know, for our formula for a triangle, we have area is half of base times height. So you can multiply 1/2 times 6 times 5.2, or you can just cut the 6 in half and have 3 times 5.2, which gives you 15.6. That's your front face. Your left and right is going to be base and height. 6 times 25 is 150. Good, easy. But those are just 2 faces. So you had 2 triangular faces and 3 rectangular faces. You add them all together and you will get 481.2. So yes, this really isn't that hard. It's just a lot of steps. Okay, so I know this one looks a little bit terrifying, but guys, don't freak out. It's just a little bit different than what we saw. The steps are still going to be the same. You are still going to draw your net and figure out the dimensions of each of your shapes. So again, step 1 is to draw your net. Here's your net. Step 2, find the area of each of your surfaces. You have your top and bottom bases, which are both right triangles. There's your formula for that. And you have your left face, which is a rectangle. Have your formula for that. Right face and back face are 2 different shapes. And then the last step is to add them all together. Go ahead and get on to your digits assignments. I know you guys did just fine. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a wonderful day.